The WCA home has private rooms for seniors who need assisted living. We are a nonprofit home founded 125 years ago for women, now seeking approval for men. Our mission has always been top-notch assisted living. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. We're having a ball here. The pre-show get-together here. We got a great show in store for you. I've got a set of guests that are going to be on throughout the morning here. So welcome, and thanks for joining us. I want to through a special welcome to the folks at Chautauqua Institution. I know sometimes you're just passing through for a couple weeks, but welcome anyways. And good afternoon to our friends at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people, that are joining us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. So thanks for listening in, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy our show today. Just a few things to share with you is that the weather is outstanding once again. These are the days that we always think about when we're up to our waist in snow. This is phenomenal. And I don't know about at your homes, but the buzzword at my house this week is blueberries. My blueberries are on steroids. I think yours are too. Yeah. And we've been picking this one bush. I swear we've picked like 16 quarts of them. I can't keep up with them. I have enough for the birds and me. So anyways, yeah, lots of good stuff going on. I wanted to pop up a picture that my granddaughter and I we went to the Rails for Trails this week. Rails to Trails, I'll get it right. I can never get the 2s or the 4s right. There's Kyla. We started out in Sherman and we stopped in Sherman. That's a long hike, but we did the first little leg of the trail, and it was so much fun. The first 30 seconds, a great big blue heron jumped out of nowhere and scared the wits out of us. We don't even know where it was hiding, but it was really nice, and it's everything that they say that it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like the Appalachian Trail. We're going to just take a bite of it at a different time. So we're going to start at the other end of Sherman, and we're going to go up to Somerdale. And I found out there's something called the Somerdale Ghost Town, and that really is whetting my appetite for excitement here and adventure. So I got to find out what that's all about. But anyways, we had Jim Fincher on here a few months ago about Rails to Trails, and if you haven't had a chance, get out, especially in the morning, and get some exercise. It's real smooth walking, it's real easy to do, and I encourage you to enjoy all the great things that are going on in Chautauqua County. Okay, I have a few things to share with you, and then we're going to get to my first guest, then we're going to take a little break, and then we have other guests. So we got a busy morning here. So let me get real quick to some quick announcements. I've trimmed them back so we'd have enough time for everybody here today. So we're going to start out in Jamestown at my good friends at Infinity. They have August day camps. They're telling me to spend your summer exploring the arts. The Infinity Center has fun-filled lineup of day camps planned for the summer that you won't want to miss. Day camps for the month of August include Center Stage Academy from August 6th to the 10th and World Tour Camp from August 20th to 24th. For more information, visit Infinity online. This is all one word, infinityperformingarts.org, or call Infinity at 664-0991. Okay, we have a slide coming up. And let's go right to that one for the 15th Annual Local Music Showcase. Look at that poster. I've got one already at home. I think this is going to be my 7th showcase I'll be playing at. Will and I are going to be at the pub. I think it's 7:15. But this is just kind of like mark your calendar, September 8th. This is a great event from 6 to 2 in the morning. So actually it goes from the 8th to the 9th. And I don't even know how many musicians. There's like about 40 different groups and individuals that'll be playing all evening. And you get a wristband, you pay one money, and then you just go from place to place to place. And it's when actually musicians get to see each other, because most of us are out playing all the time and you don't get to see each other. So a lot of my buddies are going to be playing and we get to catch up. So mark your calendar, September 8th. Okay, going on next Saturday is the annual fundraiser for the Great Belt Open Golf Tournament. So we got a slide on that one. And this is going to be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pinehurst Golf Club. You could go there. They want you to join them for the second annual Great Belt Open to be held at the Pinehurst Golf Club. I already told you that. 4-person scramble includes refreshments, dinner, and awards. And of course, all proceeds benefit the Grape Discovery Center right downtown in Westfield. And that's a great, great place to go if you haven't visited, especially from an educational point of view. It's a great family place to check out the history and the industry of grapes. And also, they got a great gift shop. For more information, give Christina over there a call at 326-2003. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is a tough one to say. Here we go. The 11th Annual Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest. I can't say. Oktoberfest. Thank you, Steve. The 11th Annual Oktoberfest at Southern Tier Brewing is going to be held on August 14th from 5 to 9 p.m. All proceeds from the event will sponsor our good friends Jeff Smith and Company at the St. Susan Center. We'll tell you more about this next week. But for more information, give them a call, 664-2253. All right. Now, just to mention, the Girl Scouts, who have been on the show from time to time, they want you to know that they're focusing on Girl Scout Difference. That's a campaign that's being held between August 1 and November 30th. And they are recruiting girls to join Girl Scouts. Girl-led, expert-approved, and volunteer-approved Girl Scouts helps girls discover their strengths and change the world. Discover the difference Girl Scouts will make and register as a girl member or adult volunteer by calling 1-837-6410. And we'll talk more about that later on. What are we doing here? It's like... Ken Harley, my buddy, Rolling Hills Radio at Chautauqua Institution is going to be this Sunday, tomorrow. Let's see, I'm going to read you the short version. He's pretty long-winded. As part of Summer on the Road, Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hart, yes, will present Joe Crookston and Todd Burja on the amphitheater stage at the Chautauqua Institution at 2 p.m. Tomorrow. Let's see, Ken notes that this concert is an excellent opportunity to hear these well-known musicians and experience a Rolling Hills radio show. Okay, and real quick, Joe Crookston is a songwriter, guitarist, painter, fiddler, slide player, Echo Village member, and a show-off, and a believer in all things possible. And Todd has emerged as one of West Virginia's most prolific singers, songwriters. He employs wry humor, dexterous guitar work, and an assortment of odd characters from humans to bugs to animals to sing his stories. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So check it out tomorrow, and then it's going to be rebroadcast, I believe, here on Access Chautauqua. Okay.
Long-winded. He's not even here.
He's not even here. The arm of Canada comes way over here. Okay. Just mark your calendar. The Chautauqua County Historical Society's annual picnic is going to be held August 15th, and that's going to be at Panama Rocks, but I'll tell you more about that next week. All right, as you can tell, I'm kind of zooming through here because I do want to get to our guest. Okay, for the golfers, another golf tournament. The annual Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce golf tournament is August 15th. You can play where the pros play on the spectacular upper course at Peak and Peak. For more information, give the Chamber a call at 366-6200 or 484-1101 to register. And then finally, the Jamestown Cruise-In is back for its 26th year. The Jamestown Community Chamber of Commerce proudly presents Jamestown Cruise-In for another year on August 17th. That's a Friday. The popular event will be held from 5 to 10 p.m. along 3rd Street in downtown Jamestown between Spring and Washington. And they're going to have all kinds of fun things, bubblegum contest, chewing contest, a hula hoop thingy. There's going to be music by the in-crowd. For more information, give them a call at 720-1834 or 484-1101. Okay, so that's enough for the announcements. So now I'm going to get to my first guest. I noticed on Facebook that this particular group was going to be playing locally, like back home here in Chautauqua County. So I sent him a message and said, hey, would you like to call in the show and promote the event? Next thing I know, it's like letting the camel put the nose through the tent. The whole camel comes in, and so he joined me. But I got to tell you.
They're trying to bar the door. Don't let him in.
Don't let him in. He's back again.
He's a maniac.
Please welcome Steve Gustafson, the co-founder of the 10,000 Maniacs. And we were just saying, it's been almost about 180 shows ago you were on, and that was about 4 years ago, I think. So welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. And as I tell you, anytime you can call in wherever you are and just let us know what you all are doing, because I know a lot of people still enjoy your music and like to know what you're doing.
I don't like people to know what I'm doing very often.
No, the band,
yeah,
not
right.
you personally.
Sure. Well, what we're doing is we're playing at the another fundraiser, and aren't we lucky that Chautauqua County has so many citizens willing to support events like that, and
Right.
like the ones you mentioned, we're raising money for good causes.
Absolutely.
And the Village Casino and Steve Carlson are doing a weekend of wing eating.
Oh boy.
It's yet another attempt to get in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, I didn't know this.
For wing eating, and I believe that the Maniacs played the first one.
What year would that have been?
It was.
What decade?
It was in the decade of the 80s, in the early 80s, I think.
Okay.
We played downstairs at the casino
Mm-hmm.
in Bemis Point, and our singer is a vegetarian.
Mm-hmm. That didn't go so well.
No, she was not well. But we fought through it, and I think they set a record. They wanted to sell 10,000 wings or something. I
Oh,
don't know.
10,000 Maniac wings.
Right. So I think they're up to 40 now.
Oh my God.
And money that comes in is going to benefit the Stowe Ferry, the library in Bemis,
Wonderful.
and we're playing upstairs at the casino on Sunday, the 12th, at 6:30 sharp. No opening act. We're going to just play our set and be done with it. But there are other bands that will be playing around the area and around the venue, the casino, all weekend.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like a lot of fun. And that's what we talk about here on the show all the time. There's something going on everywhere in Chautauqua County, especially when the weather's nice and so forth. But even in the wintertime.
Aren't we lucky?
We are very blessed. This is just a great county. And, I was born in Buffalo, and I've lived down here like 80% of my life now, and people always say, what's it like down there? I go, I can't even explain it. It's just so wonderful to be here because it's just something going on. The geography, the beauty, the nature, everything is just great. So this is going to be a great weekend coming up because I haven't announced this yet, but I'm going to warm up the county on Saturday morning. I'm going to be playing a big venue myself.
What's that?
Yeah. You think you're playing the casino? I'm playing the Westfield Farmers Market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Will won't be with me that day. He's got to be up in the Adirondacks vacationing, so they asked me if I go solo. So I'm going to do like a folk rock acoustic set from 11 to 1. It'll be at the Westfield Farmers Market. We played there a few weeks ago anyways. So I'm warming the county up for the Maniacs. So Saturday with me and Sunday with you guys. How's that?
Sunday with the Maniacs up in Bemis.
Yeah. So what have you been doing since the last time we talked? Last time you were here, you were promoting your new CD about songs from the British Isles, and actually,
Twice Told Tales, that was.
yeah, that was a great little CD.
Yeah.
And there was a song on there. I forgot what we both. Wild Mountain Time. Do you do that?
Wild Mountain Time.
Yeah, I still do that.
Do you?
Yeah. Part of our Celtic things.
Yeah.
So you've been really busy. We were talking earlier that you kind of changed up your agency, and you've been all over the place.
We've been working really hard, and the last 3 years is probably the most we've worked since 2000.
Wow, that's
Since Rob died.
Yeah.
And it's just a concerted effort from everybody, and we're seeing how far we can go. And our attitude is sort of, if not now, when.
Yeah, hurry.
So we put out 2 live albums since the Twice Told Tales thing, playing favorites. That was recorded at the Regina Civic Center in 2013 for the RFA fundraiser. And another one live from a place called the Belly Up out in San Diego. That's just a fun venue to play, and they happen to have the facilities there to record. And we said, why not? Let's just do it and see what happens.
How many states have you been in this year, touring? Just roughly.
I can't tell you.
I mean, 15, 20?
Last year we did 55 shows,
Holy
including
moly.
6 in South America, and everything else was. We played almost every major city last summer in the United States or near a major city.
And from what I've been seeing on Facebook, it's all sold out.
Yeah,
Close
some,
enough.
not all of them, but
Yeah.
we had a clunker a couple weekends ago out in Albany. It was just a Saturday night, and there was too much going on. And,
Yeah, lots of competition for this time here for that.
well, we're learning that we can't to play a hard ticket show in a club, a dinner theater, or a sit-down theater or something like that are difficult to do in the summer in the Northeast on a Saturday because people want to be outside.
Right.
And so we're learning that.
Mm-hmm.
We do more. We have more time available in the summer, but we seem to be playing more in April, May, and September and October.
It seems like from the postings I've seen, a lot of your fans are glad to see you back on tour, and they remember, and they have memorabilia, they have tickets, T-shirts. They're posting a lot of things, so it must be gratifying to see that.
Yeah, we're lucky, and I tell the audience every night if they weren't there, it would just be a rehearsal.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah.
And we're fortunate that we have a dedicated fan base. It's not real big, but
It's okay.
they're dedicated, and these venues are popping up around the country, like City Winery in New York and Boston, Chicago, a new one in Washington. They've got one in Nashville and Atlanta. They're 300-seat, sit-down, very nice dinner venues. Tables.
That's not hard to take.
Through media platforms like Spotify, we're able to find out the age of our audience and the gender and things like that. And we're trending in basically 40 to 60, 38, 60 years old. Yeah. And people want to go out to dinner and sit down and hear music in a nice sounding venue, with bringing drinks to the table and having a light meal. It's great. And so we're fortunate that that's happening, and our generation, sort of demand it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go stand up and watch someone.
No,
if you
those
can
days
help
are
it. Although
over.
we're standing at the casino.
Okay.
So bring your dancing shoes.
Okay.
Bring your dancing shoes.
So, real quick, what's in the future for 10,000 Maniacs? What do you got going on? More touring, obviously.
Yeah, our new agent was recently purchased by a bigger agency, and we're hoping that pans out for us. We made the right decision. We're kind of a small fish in a big pond now, and we'll see how that goes. Our agent is great. He likes the band a lot. He comes out to see the band, and that's important.
Yeah.
We're going to really embrace Spotify and streaming and do some recording, hopefully over the winter, and just release songs.
Good.
Just drop songs.
Some new stuff?
Yeah.
Good.
And we've started the process. It's slow, like I told you, just like herding kittens, this band.
I understand.
Musicians.
That's why I'm just playing a duo.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we're running out of time, Steve. So one more time, we're going to be where on Sunday?
We are going to be at the upstairs at the Village Casino in Bemis Point, New York. By trolley, we're going to go. And, my parents used to take the paddle boat up there to see big bands when they were.
Yeah. History there.
At 6:30 sharp. It's a donation at the door, so there's no pre-sale tickets. It could be madness. And we expect the dance floor to be hopping.
Okay, and that's Sunday the 12th.
12th at 6:30.
Okay.
Great way to end a good weekend for Steve Carlson and the gang at the Village Casino, raising money for the ferry and the library, stuff like that.
Steve Gustafson, 10,000 Maniacs, thanks for dropping by. As always, a pleasure talking with you. We keep in touch on Facebook from time to time, and dropping to see you at JCC once in a while, but it's always fun to talk and hear what you're doing.
JCC, we're doing Newsies in the fall. Auditions are at the
I
end
had
of
to
August.
mention that, didn't I? It's like,
We're
no.
doing Newsies auditions, Disney's Newsies.
Okay.
And it's always nice seeing you at the college. And Maniac fans can find us at maniacs.com and on Spotify and Instagram and all that social media stuff that I try to pretend I'm a teenager doing.
Okay, well, we'll see you soon. And
Thanks.
be safe out there on the road, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So, folks, that was Steve Gustafson, and they're going to be performing at the Bemis Point Casino next Sunday. And we're going to take a little station break, and we'll be right back. That's it. Okay, we're back, and Steve has left the auditorium. All right. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and I'm going to be introducing some folks here now that I basically have never met, don't know exactly what they do, and that's the best kind of interview for me, is because then I get to ask candid questions right off the top of my head, because I don't know where I'm going with this. But I want to remind you that we are live. It's Saturday morning. And you can give us a call at 753-5225 if you have a question or a comment for my guest, or you have something you want to announce. And my guests are amply prepared to discuss things here I see today. So I want to start out with Diane Clark, and we've got Sandy Emke and Bill Clark at the end.
Moran.
Nobody tells me these things. Bill Moran.
Yes.
M-O-R-A-N. So
But we're married.
Yeah.
I trust that. It's okay. Nobody tells me these things. I just the talking head here. You're going to be talking about the Greystone Nature Preserve. Okay, not reserve. That's what they kept telling me. So, Diane, you've been on Fresh Perspectives with Gail Erb a bit, and you contacted me a while back and said, could I come on your show? And I said, yeah. And so it's been a little bit of a while since we've communicated, but you're going to have to start from scratch. I don't know if my guests know much about Greystone or what it's about, the history of it, so I'm going to be quiet and let you just talk.
All right, thank you, Doc. And I think that's the first words I want to say are thank you. And thank this whole setup of Access Channel 5, because this is one of the ways that you're bringing the whole community together. And that's what Greystone is about. It's bringing the community together, especially for people who care about nature. And to say a little bit about me, I'm Diane Clark. I'm 33 years. I was a teacher in the Jamestown School District,
You taught?
And I did.
I was a teacher.
Yeah, it's a great profession,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Then I went to the dark side administration. That's what they told me. They said, you went over to that side.
I went into the side where a lot of people aren't very interested. I went into the nature side.
So what did you teach?
I actually have taught from preschool in Chautauqua Institution to Penn State University, where I taught early childhood education when it was just breaking out. So my love and passion in life is teaching. And now, as my husband says, I get to play school. I get to use natural objects, and I get to allow children to explore nature without all the restrictions of public education. And that is, I know.
That's a mouthful right there. Without
Yes.
the restrictions of public education, you can be what you want to be.
Yeah, our program is experiential. So we're not so interested in naming everything in nature. What we are interested in is connecting children to nature and letting them have an experience that brings a sense of awe, and then maybe they get some information, but they also leave with a sense of stewardship for nature. So that's my drive, passion, and little background.
Where is the preserve? I don't have any idea.
Yeah, we're 10 years old, and we are little known because we're
That's
mom
why
and
you're
pa.
here.
Bill and I started about 2008. We started our actual programming, and we're on Bear Lake Road. We are just outside of Brockton, but we're on the top of the escarpment. And you can Google, I look at Sandy
Yeah.
because she's our techo person. It's 8531 Bear Lake Road. So if you want to come out and visit, we're open dawn to dusk, and we're open for programming throughout the summer from May till October.
Wow, that's quite a commitment. That's great. Yes, I'm always looking for something to do. As you can see with my granddaughter,
Yes.
I drag her around into natural settings, and she's patient with me.
Well, you're giving her a good background.
Oh, yeah.
It's wonderful.
I got to tell you a terribly funny story. Some people think it's terrible. I think it's funny. My wife really gets upset with me because sometimes she finds things frozen in the freezer, like a hummingbird or something. It's a little tiny bird. Well, last year I found this total skeleton of a cat, totally bleached out, and so I have a bag and a hat in a bag, and so Kyle and I, we're going to put that cat back together one of these days.
Oh.
So we do a lot of those things, but we go out in the woods and stuff. All right, let's keep going though.
Well, I think we
I
should
love
go
science.
to the manager.
The
I'm the
manager.
director. I think of programming and stuff. But my cohort here, my legal husband,
Legal husband,
is Bill Moran. And
but
maybe,
not Bill Clark.
No, right.
Bill Moran.
Yeah.
All right.
And maybe he
Bill
wants
Moran.
to tell you a little bit about himself.
Okay, let's hear. it.
I'm a transplant to this area from the Virginia suburbs, but I've been here for most of my life. And I worked for Welch's in Westfield
Really?
for, I think, 36 years.
What'd you do there?
Everything but maintenance,
Uh-huh.
pretty much. Anything for food processing.
Super.
And then Diane and I took part-time jobs working for the Casadega Job Corps Center. And we did that for approximately 7 years.
Okay. So you've got long roots here.
Yep, we had fun. We were the outdoor educators. So we got to take the students off-center. We probably spent more time off-center than we did on the
So
campus.
what's the root of your desire to be in nature? I mean, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, or?
I did scouts. I also did a lot of camping with my parents from the age of 6 on up till I was probably 16. So did a lot of camping.
See, I was a Boy Scout, and that's what got my love to be
great,
out in the
yeah.
woods and things like that. And even though I grew up in the city, I just love being out in nature.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have a third member of the team
And
here.
the third shining star here. Sandy is the one who has, after 10 years of Bill and I doing a Ma and Pa nature program, Sandy entered the scene as an intern from SUNY Fredonia, and she just kind of caught fire, and she's been with us for a year now, and she's our assistant director bringing the modern ways into this nature preserve.
Modern ways.
Sandy?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I've actually been with Greystone for 3 years, but as she said, for the first 2, I was like, a board member, and an intern, but then it developed, and Diane asked me to come along and actually be the assistant, and from there it's been about a year that I've been the assistant director.
So what does the assistant director do that the manager and director doesn't do?
A lot of the things that she said, a lot of the tech things, you know, I help her write a lot of the grants and do sending a lot of the emails and things like that that, you know, are just not very fun to do, that nobody really likes to do and are a little bit more difficult. So I enjoy it though. I'm a very organized person and I like to be organized, so doing those things and helping her plan.
Are you saying Diane's not
programs.
organized?
Oh no, she is very. She is very. But
I
like,
say most teachers are pretty
oh no,
organized.
she's way more than me, and I'm learning a lot from her, which is awesome. It's awesome.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
but it's just
But what you're saying is really important for most. I'm assuming you're not-for-profit.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Not-for-profits constantly are writing grants and trying to keep
Yeah.
the doors open in that. So good on you for 10
Yeah.
years already. So I know you're probably a key person, and
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so where did this idea come from? I don't know if you told me that
Well,
part.
It basically came from loneliness.
Loneliness.
Yeah, because as Bill said, we had this, it was really an 8-year stretch of working at Job Corps, and we were asked to do this job, outdoor adventure coordinators. And we were able to take disadvantaged city youth from the ages of 18 to 23 out into the woods. We were carte blanche in those days. Take them hiking, biking, and every month we would go camping at Allegheny State Park or some other place.
beautiful.
We even went kayaking in Pennsylvania. We designed our own program, and we used to call it the all-invasive, ever-pervasive Job Corps, because our whole life was, you know, what are we going to do with Job Corps? And then education changed, funding changed, and we found in 2008 that there wasn't money or programming for us. And we went into depression. We had a year of what can we do with our lives? And finally, after going to camps and seeing if we could be lifeguards or anything to work with youth, because we got addicted to that moment when a kid would go, "That's a raccoon," and it was, you know it with your
Yes,
neighbors. You see that heron come up, and there's a moment of
So that's
awe.
where the milk comes from. That's where the birds are.
Yeah. There's that moment of awe. And it just did something to us in those 8 years that we loved it. And sitting by a campfire and thinking about their life and knowing that we were able to present that to them, we just loved it. And so Kubler-Ross, we went through all the stages of death and dying. What are we going to do with our lives?
Well, good for you.
And finally, in about 2008, we said, well, we have to pick it up and do it ourselves.
Wow.
And so we had been working on our 501c3. We got it through. We set up programming. And what do we say, Bill? We stumbled into the future.
Stumble forward.
Stumbled forward with whatever programming we could do. And then about a year ago, Sandy came on the scene and dynamite. One of the first things she innovated was that we do field days. What's a field day? It is not a sports day. Sandy, do you want to talk about field days a little bit? And
Sure.
what you thought of them?
This is free forum, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, definitely. So field days really for us was just like Diane had said, and nowadays, you know, kids are much more familiar with robots than they are robins. So we wanted to kind of negate that and get them back out into nature. And, you know, all those statistics where kids aren't even getting out into nature, you know, an hour a week. It was depressing to us. So we decided that instead of kids going out to, you know, Midway and those things on their last days of school, they should come to a place like Greystone and they should do group activities and, you know, learn together and just be out in nature. So that's kind of what we developed, and it's just that program is just being out in nature for, you know, almost 4 hours straight. You know, you might have a little shade from trees, maybe a tent up, but you're using outhouses, you're using, you know, you're using nature and you're learning about it the whole time. And we do stations, and all the stations that we do are very, very nature related, and you're learning something but also doing something fun at the same time. So
Bill, how many acres do you have?
Too many. We have 72.
72 acres. Whoa.
That's quite a lot of property to manage.
Is it relatively flat or rolling? Or?
Probably about a quarter of it is tillable fields, which is our farmer takes care of that for us. He cuts them for us. And then the back 40 is kind of like this.
I live on the escarpment in Ripley, so I understand what you're talking
We're
about.
up at about 1,200 feet.
Yeah, I think that's we're 1290. I think our sea level. So, do you live there?
We live there.
You live right on the preserve. So, when you say preserve, that gives you this kind of African safari sound. I mean, what is that a technical term, or is that
It's concept. We want to preserve the wildlife, the flora, the fauna. In particular, we've taken on bats, butterflies, and birds. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
Okay, little story. At my house, I told you we're kind of like in the nature. So Barb has always been into owls, so I had to buy her an owl house. So it was in early spring, and Barb's holding the ladder, and I'm trying to put this owl house up on a tree, with a branch and all that. And I just set it just so I could grab my drill, The wind came along, knocked the owl house, hit her in the head, hit me in the head. It was like a 30-pound piece of wood. Holy crow. I almost killed both of us. And then, well, we recovered, and she forgave me. And then I bought her a bat house. So that just went up recently. So I can't wait to talk about bats, because I'm going to put my trail camera near the bat house so I can see if they come in. So maybe you got some secrets for that.
That's awesome.
So we're kinship here. So I'm good with all this. So I'm always out in the woods. And people always say, "Well, we're going to go camping." I go, "I don't have to. I just walk out my back door, because we've got woods and things like that where we live." So what do we want to talk about next? I mean, let's talk about fun things. You bought all kinds of little gizmos here and props. So where we want to go?
All right, well, we went from being just a preserve of these 72 acres, and we planted a lot of trees, and we took out a lot of invasives, and we're still doing that. But the new concept was we need to do more than just preserve. We have to be a sanctuary to bats and birds and butterflies. Some species of birds are very, very near endangered
Which
in
ones?
our county.
Which
The
birds?
meadowlark
Okay.
is the
I
one.
think I've seen one in near me ever.
And the bobolink,
Bobolink.
because the fields get cut and then all the fledglings go.
Mhm.
And a nice little company named Monsanto that everyone loves uses widespread poisoning so that the farmers get good crop yield. And what they're doing now is when they overspray, they're overspraying the edges of the fields where birds used to nest. So
Right,
the
right.
bobolink, it will be doomed unless it gets help, unless it has a sanctuary setting. So our farmer who cooperates with us in the fields, he does not cut the fields until we're sure that the bobolinks have fledged.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And for butterflies, 5 years ago we didn't see a single monarch butterfly on our land.
Really?
Not a single one, and we looked all summer. And we began a very active program of planting milkweed.
I was just going to say milkweed, because
And-
we have it at our house. I see them. I have to look around this year. I guess I haven't really paid attention.
Yeah,
But we
they're
usually-
out right now.
Yeah.
They're getting together. We see 4 or 5 on a daily basis. So that shows to you that nature can rebound if you just give her a chance. So we're working on the butterflies, and of course right now we have some moths that we're letting it hatch out of their cocoons, but we're doing that sort of thing to really nurture nature, because nature needs us.
A little help here.
As for bats, Sandy's getting her master's at SUNY Fredonia in biology, but her specialty
Is bats,
and I
yeah.
should switch to you.
All right.
Yeah, so, like-
let's go.
I know bats are crazy creatures. They are very, very important. I don't know if
You can pull
everybody
that up
knows.
if you want, and they'll zoom in.
Yeah. Actually, bats are known to be one of the second biggest pollinator, which is a big fact that people don't know. Not around here, of course. We only have insect-eating bats around here. And, bats around here are about this size. And even though they are this tiny, one bat about this size can eat over 4,000 mosquitoes in one night. So, talking about importance of saving a species, these guys are, everybody's horrified of them, so they get,
I'm not.
unfortunately,
No,
good.
I've
It's so
handled them.
great. It's
They chatter at me.
right, yeah.
They're so tiny. tiny.
Little
They
mammals.
are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're amazing
like-
creatures.
I know many times people say, I got a bat in my house. I go, I'll be there. I just get a
Right.
tennis racket.
Yeah.
Kind of guide them out, and then I have gloves, and I look at them a little bit, and then let them go.
Yeah, sometimes if it's in a place that you can just open up the windows and turn off all the lights and then close the door so that
Yeah,
you can't
let 'em
leave,
go.
he'll go right out the window, you
Yeah.
know. Most of the time people just get
Well,
too
you know,
scared.
some vampire movies that just scare the
Yeah.
wits out of everybody. But no, bats are cool.
They are.
You know, true or false? Bats are endangered in our area right now.
There are a couple species, yes. The long-eared bat is actually having some issues
Oh, we have
right
more
now.
than one kind of bat around?
We have 8. We have 8 species, yeah. And then some of the pictures that we have today, if we have time to get to them.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, I have some pictures of the largest bat we have in our area. It's called the hoary, and then we have eastern reds that are very beautiful colors, and little brown and big brown, and a small-footed bat. We have 8 species here.
I just learned something new. I just thought
Yeah.
it was the bat.
Nope, there's 8 species. There's over 1,200 species in the entire world. So,
She is working on her master's.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in case you wanted to know. So, do they coexist, like in the same habitat?
Some do, like little browns and big browns. They'll even use the same bat houses and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But some others, like silver hairs, they prefer to live in trees and things like that. So
Okay, so I just
we
put
can
this
find
bat
them in
house
some
up
area.
for my wife.
Yeah.
1 bat house. We're going to try there. So, how do I attract bats? Just let them go?
Yep. If you have a water body nearby, like a pond or something, that's the best way. And making
Yep,
sure that the
water
bat
gardens.
house is like 18 feet, about 18 feet.
18 feet?
Yeah.
They said 10 feet. That's as far as I went up.
No, you
Oh,
Higher
no,
yet?
18, yeah,
Oh,
because they need a
man,
lot
I'm
of
never gonna get that high
they
now.
need a lot of space to drop off and like fly. So, yeah.
I'm serious. They said 10 to 12 foot to put my bat house.
No, that's from
18
Bat Conservation International, I believe it's called. Yeah.
And face it southeast.
That I got
Yeah.
got that worked out. Okay.
But
18
yeah.
feet. I got 8 more feet to go. I don't have a ladder. I don't have a pole that high. Well, we'll
Don't
work on it.
drop
Can I, don't, no, by myself. But you can't put them in a tree, though.
You can if you can get it 18 feet up, and it just depends. Like there's a lot of different specs, and the craziest part is out of those 8 species we have here, only 2 of them will utilize bat houses. So only the little brown and the big brown actually enjoy bat houses, but those are the 2 species that are really hurting right now because of the white nose syndrome that's going on.
White nose syndrome.
Yeah.
They actually,
The fungus on the nose. Yeah. So it's actually great that you put up a bat house, even though they're only attracting those 2 species.
And
Those are
10
the
foot.
2 that need help. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll have to get back to you and see if I
Yeah.
get any in there. But that's what they said. 10 foot.
Yeah.
All right. So bats. So bats. They got rabies. That's kind of maybe
It's
over-exaggerated.
over-exaggerated.
It's
It's like
over-exaggerated.
raccoons have rabies. You know,
Yeah.
a fox. You know, there's probably a bad one everywhere. So.
Yeah, but if you think about it, bats are in the air all the time, and the ones that are carrying it, like mice and things like that, aren't flying in the sky along with the bats. So, like, they don't come in contact with them very often. So the rate of bats actually contracting rabies is very low. The reason why it's reported so high is mostly because when people find a bat, they're finding the injured and sick bats.
Okay.
So then those ones are getting tested, and then numbers are coming back high. But
Okay.
but in reality, that actually very low percent is getting contracting rabies. Yeah.
All right. So you're working with bats, and you talked about the birds and some about Bill.
The butterflies, as well as the bees, honeybees in particular,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
concerned about them. So we found that we're no longer mowing as much land and trails and property as we have. So we actually have established some no-mow zones.
You know, I did this out of pure laziness, but I used to mow like 3 acres of lawn, and I said, this is really like silly. It's just the 2 of us there. So what I did was I created a maze. And so I just, my tractor, and every year it's a little different design. And then when my grandkids or nieces and nephews, they
get the run.
go walk in the maze and go look at nature. And all of a sudden I realized what I guess what you're getting at is I was starting to see butterflies I'd never seen before. Or one day I walked down in there and they must have just hatched, but there were all these little tiny little orange butterflies or moths or whatever. It's like there was 100 of them. It was like one of those serendipitous moments. Like I was waiting for the harp music to start playing. It was just one of those real cool nature moments. But you know, you see the cedar waxwings that are down more in the bush than you will close to the feeders. So you see different birds down there. But because I left it more in the rough, I get to see a lot of cool things and tour at the same time.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few areas that we're no longer mowing. Speaking of birds,
Yes.
one thing that we have up at Greystone, and we were kind of proud of, are our chickens.
You have chickens.
We have chickens, and we would like to present you, let's pass this on down,
Oh boy, what do we got?
to our host.
Gifts. I love gifts. What is this? It says
Unfortunately, it's not a full dozen.
That's okay.
But
fed organic grain. Is there inorganic grain?
Oh, yeah.
So not good stuff.
It means
Oh, look at this. I don't know if you can catch this on the camera. Look at
plus,
this.
these chickens are happy. Doc, they
Multicolored.
get to free range.
Free range. They go anywhere they want.
Yep, they go pretty much, wander
Okay.
around.
So why are these eggs green and
We have-
pale and brown and?
Well, we don't have any ham to go with the green ones, but there's two different varieties of
Pretty cool. Thank you.
chickens that we have,
I
and
like eggs. Well,
yeah.
So are these a special variety of chicken?
It's Irricana is one, and the Buff Orpingtons.
And they're known for colored eggs.
Yep.
See, we always think of white eggs, but even in Rhode Island Reds, they lay brown eggs.
They
I guess,
do.
regularly.
So we do get to entertain with the chickens when folks come up. Amazingly enough, they want to have chicken 101. A lot of them. Now, in addition to our chickens,
Yes.
we have organic gardens that we've been working with for the past few years. Diane actually is doing some of her own seed. Diane, you want to mention your seeds at all?
You have your own seeds.
yes, the same with the organic grain. We want to stay away from any kind of seeds that are treated chemically for shelf life or to maybe have them grow up faster, hormones. We know that that's out there, but we're trying to stay very pure. So that's why that's organic grain, and that's why when we take children into the chicken house, we tell them, now this is someone else's home. Let's be aware that they're happy where they are, and everything is just right for them. Because again, we want them to connect with the children, not look at it as a resource. And we let them pick the eggs, we let them even maybe reach under a hen, and then we'll say, where do you think they sleep? The kids are looking all over, where would they sleep? And of course it's on the roosts. And we let them meet chickens that way, and somebody always comes up with it. And then if someone comes for one of our educational programs, we take them out in the garden. And I don't know, Bill was supposed to say the line, "What's up, Doc?"
What's up, Doc?
But to pull a carrot or a beet out of the ground, to pick a pea, to pick a string bean and eat it. Eat it when it's still fresh and has the energy of the plant on it.
We were just talking about blueberries, same thing. Yeah.
Yes, it's an experience.
I take my cereal bowl with the cereal in it, and I go to the blueberry bushes, pull the berries into the bowl, and I go back and eat it.
Fabulous, because
Fresh.
you're eating the
Yeah, right
the
then, and it's on
regular,
your property. It's your dirt, it's
Yeah.
your soil, it's your everything. Right?
Yeah, that's an experience you can't really equate to anything else. So anyway, we brought you some carrots.
Oh,
I don't
thank
know if
you.
we'll eat them on
We
the
thought
show.
we would hold off till after the show.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
all
go
the
crunching in my
people-
microphone.
By the way, this is the new way to wrap. Instead of using plastic,
Get
which
close
will
up.
matriculate into your food,
Hold it up, Diane. Close up.
this is a new kind of wrap. Our
I've never seen that
daughter of our heart, Olivia, taught us about this, and it's a plastic.
Hold it up,
It's not a plastic.
Other
It's
to your-
Yeah, we gotta. You got,
Go the other
there we
direction.
go.
you got
The
it.
other way.
Ooh-doo-doo.
Move
The
this
other way.
thing.
There you go.
There we are. See this wrap?
Yeah.
This is made out of beeswax,
Get
and you
out.
can use it and wrap it
cool.
over and over again.
Reusable paper.
And
Who'd
yeah,
have
and
thought?
cut down on your use of plastic
I'm
wrap
good with
or those wonderful plastic bags most canners are addicted to. I sort of am, but I'm trying to wean myself.
Well, thanks. That's
So
great.
we thank Olivia for that. And when you talk about not mowing, I think since we're on public access, I want to thank Jenny Horvath as president of our local SUNY Fredonia campus. She has, not a battle, but she has been a champion to try and have that campus become less of a golf course kind of atmosphere.
More natural.
And let the areas that don't have to be mowed not be mowed, or only mowed once in a while. And so what you're doing at home, people all over are doing and realizing that we don't need to have this carpet grass. We
Right.
need to share it with all the other critters who need to live in a taller grass
I'm concerned
situation.
about my carbon footprint, or
Right.
my diesel footprint, because we do mow, we have a number of trails that we can mow that are wide enough for groups to walk on.
Right. So you brought some pictures because I want people that are watching right now to get a handle on it, and people that are listening on the radio. Let's describe what we're looking at. How's that sound?
Okay.
So Jeff, let's pop up some pictures because we've got about 9 minutes left of the show, and I don't know what I'm looking at right now. What is that?
All right. That is actually,
Oh, all right.
back in 2016, we did a large festival, again, centered around bats, and that is one of the bats that we actually caught in a mist net.
Okay, so we got a
So-
bat stuck in a net.
Nope, this is actually in
No.
a researcher's hand. He's
Oh,
checking.
okay, now I gotta take a glove.
Yep, so, it's a glove, and then the little bat is on the inside of his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he's checking his wings and his nose for white nose syndrome and measuring him, and then he'll release him back out into
Do
the.
they tag them or anything?
No, because bats are very hard to tag.
Yeah,
They
there's-
fall off.
the
at
membrane
things.
is so thin. too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's just keep clipping along. Oh,
You could talk about this one if you'd like.
okay, what we got going on here?
These are a group of future Rotarians from Brockton School, and they're,
The Interact Club.
Yes.
I'm a
Interact.
Rotarian.
Yes,
Okay.
the Interact came up.
Yep.
yep, and they came up, and that is pulling invasive species from our driveway.
And when you say invasive, what do you mean?
Well, that happens to be mustard garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a nasty little plant that when it grows, and all plants are nice, but this guy, when it gets in the soil, it sends out a sort of enzyme and it kills all the other plants around it. And there are whole forests in Vermont that the whole first story of the forest is nothing but this mustard weed, or mustard garlic.
Yeah.
And so these wonderful teenage children, 3 or 4 days before some of them were going to graduate, they gave us a full morning of work. And their superintendent of schools,
Jason
You enjoy it?
Delkay.
Yeah.
you
Came
got it, he's our hero.
Yep.
He brought them up, and then he worked with Bill, and because of his good tractor skills, he helped us get some pipes and stuff out of our creek.
Oh, wow.
He is #1 guy.
Well, and I see
In
Dan
our
Skinner
board.
in there with the maroon sweatshirt.
You got it.
I know some of those people. Wow.
So
Okay.
we operate a lot on volunteer
Oh, yeah.
effort,
Beautiful.
and we welcome anyone who wants to do a volunteer activity at a 501c3. Come to Greystone and help us with whatever we're doing.
I know some Rotarians that might be looking for a service project, so we'll
Cool.
have to
Great.
keep you in mind.
Would welcome them.
Okay.
Yeah, we,
Okay, what else we got here?
This is a field day.
This is the beginning of a field day. So this is Chautauqua Lake was coming, and we actually did field days for Pine Valley, Brockton School, Fredonia, Dunkirk, Lake Chautauqua, Sinclairville, Sherman, and the ECLC program of the Seneca Nation.
Wonderful.
So we get these children off of the bus and we say, welcome. Our property is uniquely located in that from the crest of the hill there, you can't see anything man-made.
Oh,
And you
nice.
can see Lake Chautauqua. So we lead them up there and say,
that's good.
come and enjoy nature.
We are looking at something that I can't tell if I'm looking at a face or what am I looking at here? What is that?
That is an eastern red bat. That is one of the 8 species we have around here. I don't know, it's just a very beautiful bat. That is actually one of my favorite ones that we have in this area.
How big are they? The same size as this little guy here that you have?
He is bigger than this one for sure, but he's not the biggest species.
Right.
There is another picture of the biggest species.
Okay.
okay.
So
Well, just keep on going then. Cool. Now, you have these species at the preserve?
some of them we may. We do acoustic surveys there, so we use their echolocation calls to actually kind of identify what species there are, and there might be. We just haven't really
Okay, this looks like a little creek maybe, or pond?
That's exactly what field days look like. It's children investigating our little pond. We also have a bigger pond. And of course, there's always an adult to answer their questions, but most of all, to stand back and let them discover the frog, the salamander, and maybe name it themselves.
Here's a funny story. Last year I had water snakes in my water gardens, and my wife was having a fit. And I said, no, she wanted me to get rid of them. And I said, why would I do that? She says, well, because I don't like them and they're going to eat the fish and the frogs. I said, yes, that's how things stay in balance. So I didn't do anything with the snakes. This year there's no snakes. Guess what's going on at 3 o'clock in the morning? Bullfrogs,
yeah.
loud like they got a PA system.
Yeah.
And I go, now do you understand why we wanted the snakes? And she goes, what is that noise?
That's cute.
Nature out of balance. So what we got here looks like flower beds or a vegetable garden?
You bet. That's our raised bed garden. That whole construction was actually an intern, got 3 credits from SUNY Fredonia.
Wonderful.
And she learned plenty and changed her life. And these people are the SUNY Fredonia Bowling Club, not team, bowling club.
Huh.
And they wanted to, as clubs need to do, they needed to do some volunteer time. And they helped us turn those 4 gardens because we had just put manure on the top, and we always wanted to freshen up the
Work
soil.
it down, yeah.
And then later they planted sunflowers and marigolds and have a memory.
Good. Okay. And this is your logo.
And that was a panorama of the fields where we do most of our programming.
There you go.
Yep, and that is the largest bat. That's the hoary bat.
That looks like maybe 10 inches across.
Yeah, yep, and he is the largest bat we have here in Western New York.
He's pretty.
Yeah, they
Got
are.
little
Very,
reds in there.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, their heads are sort of round. I always thought they were more triangular, but it is sort of like
Yeah,
rounded.
they're like, it's kind of like little puppies in my opinion. They're very cute.
Flying puppies. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. All right, and what do they eat? Insects as well?
Yep,
or-
all of the bats we have around here eat insects.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Bill, you look like you want to talk about something. You've been perched already.
I'm looking at the clock here. Is the clock ticking down? for
Yeah,
us?
it's ticking down. Yeah.
I thought at some point we ought to thank the people that support Greystone.
Go for it. Go for
But
it.
I didn't want to interrupt the
No,
folks for that.
they're waiting on us.
Okay. As we've mentioned, we rely upon students from SUNY Fredonia to help us out, as Sandy has stepped in and a few other folks have helped us out. We're working with interns, we're working with volunteers. We also want to thank some of the faculty at Fredonia State that's come out. We've been able to do a number of projects with faculty members which have supported us.
And you're still looking for more volunteers as time goes by.
We can always, yeah,
Always.
we're always happy to have folks that come up if they want to volunteer and come up and do something, and we welcome them.
The one thing most of my guys always forget to do is to give us a phone number. So how would they get a hold of you?
We're on we're on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yep.
And we have a website, and you have to remember it's Greystone, Grey. Greystone Nature Preserve. You type that in your computer, either to Facebook or to the web, and we're there.
Okay.
And one of the people who's keeping us moving and going is the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation.
Diane and Company.
They have
Yeah.
been very generous in
Helpful.
their grant bequeathing of us. And many of the things we have, from benches to binoculars, Bill and I wouldn't be able to afford, but they've seen the way we can share them with the community, and they've given us the money.
I also want to thank the Boy Scouts from different troops that have helped us out. We've had bat houses erected. We've had trees planted. The hemlock grove was put in by Cub Scouts. And we have a future project where a scout's going to erect a little kiosk for us,
Super.
along with
Eager
maps.
project,
So
thanks.
we're looking forward to that.
I know this is hard to believe, but we're down to our last half a minute.
Yeah.
So you're the director, so you get to wrap things up for you.
Well, we invite people to come to Greystone to experience nature. If they go to the website and find our phone number and our information, or send us an email, we'd be so glad to show them around in nature our way, where they experience it with a sense of awe and discovery, and come to hope that they'll have a sense of stewardship.
Perfect. Well said. Well, folks, that's a wrap. We've had a busy morning here. So I'm Doc Hamels, and you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guests, Diane Clark, Bill Moran, Sandy Emke from the Greystone Nature Preserve up in Brockton. Steve Gustafson from 10,000 Maves was in here earlier. So a lot going on. So check out the preserve. I'm going to. And we're going to see you all right here next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Access Chautauqua. Have a great weekend and check out all the events that we talked about earlier. Take care and use the sunscreen. I always mention that. I always burn my beak. So.